New York just lit the fuse, and once again, Florida's luxury real estate market is heating up right after Zohran Mamdani's shocking win in the Democratic primary on a platform that targets the ultra wealthy. High-end buyers in Manhattan started pulling out of deals almost instantly. Within minutes, brokers like Ryan Serhant were on the news saying that their number one job now is moving people from New York to Florida. And I can tell you, he's not the only one. I'm Jonathan Alexander, and this is the Live South Florida channel, where we help successful people relocate, invest, and upgrade their lifestyle here in the Sunshine State. Now, between this channel and what we're doing on the ground, our phones have been blowing up. Wealthy buyers, business owners, even full families are calling asking, how fast can we move our assets, our companies, and our lives down south? Even Governor DeSantis joked that Palm Beach prices might need seatbelts, and honestly, he's not wrong. So if you've been thinking about buying, diversifying, or making a move, this moment right here matters. In this video, we'll break down why Mamdani's win is triggering another major wave out of New York, what it means for Florida's high-end market, and how to position yourself smartly before it ramps up even more. Let's get into it. So how did we get here? What just happened in New York that has so many high net worth individuals calling agents here in Florida asking how fast they can move their money, their businesses, and their lives? It all centers around one name, Zohran Mamdani. He's a 33-year-old Democratic socialist who just shocked the political establishment by winning the Democratic primary for New York City mayor. And the real disruption, it's not just that he won, it's what he's campaigning on. His platform focuses heavily on taxing the ultra wealthy, freezing rents citywide, and shifting private sector functions into government hands, including housing, grocery stores, and public development. Now, to his base, this is pitched as a bold move towards equity and affordability, but for business leaders, investors, developers, and top income earners, this reads like a direct challenge to how they live, invest, and operate, and that's exactly why we've seen an almost instant reaction in this market. Within hours of the primary results, buyers began walking away from luxury real estate deals in Manhattan. Billionaire John Catsimatidis publicly questioned whether he continued doing business in the city, and hedge fund manager Bill Ackman said this could trigger capital flight of epic proportions. He even warned that if just 100 top earners in his industry left, New York could lose up to $10 billion in tax revenue. And from what I've seen personally, that shift is already happening. Text, emails, phone calls, clients asking about Palm Beach, Boca, Fort Lauderdale, Miami. They're not just window shopping, they're actively planning. But what exactly is in Mamdani's platform that has so many successful New Yorkers second guessing their future in the city? So what exactly is pushing New York's wealthiest residents to start packing their bags? Let's break down the core of Zohran Mamdani's platform, starting with the issues that's always top of mind: housing. He wants to immediately freeze rents on all rent-stabilized apartments and build 200,000 new affordable union-built units over the next decade. He's also calling for faster development approvals, expanded tenant protections, and even a new Office of Deed Theft Prevention to guard against title fraud. Now, on the surface, this may sound like pro-tenant policy, but here's the flip side. Freezing rents and heavily regulating the market can quickly choke private investment. If developers can't see a return, they'll stop building. Landlords may cut maintenance or exit the rental market altogether, and with price controls in place, real estate becomes less appealing as a vehicle for long-term growth and passive income. So in short, if you remove the upside, you remove the incentive. Now let's talk about public transportation. Mamdani wants to eliminate bus fares across the city and prioritize faster transit with expanded lanes and tech infrastructure. Again, great in theory, but free transit comes with a steep price tag. If fare revenue disappears without a sustainable replacement, it could lead to service cuts, funding gaps, and mounting infrastructure problems, all of which make cities less livable for everyone. Next, we hit the cost of living and labor. Mamdani's proposing city-owned grocery stores that pay no rent, no property taxes, and operate at wholesale margins. He's also pushing free childcare from infancy to kindergarten and raising the minimum wage to $30 an hour by 2030. To many, this reads as a fundamental shift towards government control over traditionally private industries. It's no longer a competitive landscape, it's the city competing against its own business owners. And for wealthy residents and entrepreneurs alike, it begs the question, if the city owns the infrastructure, controls the pricing, and taxes success, well, what's the incentive to stay? On top of that, a $30 minimum wage, especially without phase-ins or regional balancing, could cripple small businesses in hospitality, food, and retail. It may even increase automation, reduce job opportunities, and drive prices up across the board. Then there's education. His platform includes redistributing school funding, expanding services for homeless students, and investing in green energy upgrades for around 500 schools, everything from HVAC overhauls to solar hubs. It's ambitious, it's idealistic, but it's also expensive, and it depends heavily on sustained tax revenue from the very group now that's considering leaving. And finally, the big one, taxation. Mamdani wants to add a 2% city income tax on anyone earning over $1 million annually and raise the corporate tax rate to 11.5%. For high net worth individuals and business leaders, this is just an increase. It's a signal. It says you're the target, you're the funding source. And the result, people aren't sticking around to debate it. They're calling their CPAs, their attorneys, and their real estate agents. They're restructuring their residency. They're moving their capital, companies, and their families to more financially friendly markets like Florida. So whether you support these policies or not, the market is reacting now. Deals are stalling, investment dollars are shifting, and conversations that used to be theoretical are now becoming very real. And from what I've seen on the ground and from the calls that we're fielding right now, this isn't just a political story, it's a financial migration that's in motion, and it's already heading south. Let's be clear. This didn't all start because of one election. The migration of high net worth individuals, family offices, and corporate leaders out of New York has been in motion for a while. The numbers don't lie. But Mamdani's surprise primary win, that was the tipping point. It didn't spark the fire, it just poured gasoline on it. We're now seeing major players take action fast. Take Ken Griffin, founder of Citadel. He moved his $60 billion hedge fund from Chicago to Miami, not just for the weather, but for the stability, tax advantages, and long-term opportunity that Florida offers. That made headlines globally. And now Bill Ackman, one of the most influential voices in finance, is sounding the alarm. He said Mamdani's proposed policies could lead to capital flight on a massive scale. He even offered to personally fund any candidate willing to challenge him. Why? Because in Ackman's words, if just 100 of the highest taxpayers in the industry leave New York, it could cost the city and state $5 to $10 billion in lost revenue. That's not speculation, that's math. His quote, "Think Ken Griffin leaving Chicago for Miami on steroids." Even Governor Ron DeSantis took a jab, half joking that if Mamdani wins, he could pay off the rest of Florida's state debt by charging fleeing New Yorkers an entry tax. Is it tongue-in-cheek? Sure, but there's a serious message under the humor. Florida is open for business, and it's ready to welcome those who feel squeezed out elsewhere. Even New York Governor Kathy Hochul raised concerns. She publicly warned against raising taxes during an affordability crisis, saying, "It's exactly what's pushing New Yorkers to Palm Beach." And it's not just personal moves, it's corporate. JP Morgan Chase, founded in New York City over 200 years ago and still employing 24,000 people there, has already been shifting talent by the thousands. As of last year, Texas officially surpassed New York as the company's largest employee base, with 30,000 workers now in Texas and another 15,000 in Miami. Goldman Sachs, Citigroup, and other Wall Street institutions are quietly doing the same strategically, repositioning their workforces outside of New York. These aren't temporary decisions, they're long-term hedges against uncertainty, taxes, and policy shifts that are increasingly unpredictable. Yes, Texas is gaining ground, especially Austin and Dallas, but here in Florida, especially in Palm Beach, Boca Raton, Fort Lauderdale, and Miami, we're watching the floodgates open. I can tell you from firsthand experience. Contracts in Manhattan are stalling. Clients were thinking about moving last month. Now they're asking, how fast can we do this? It's not just about taxes. It's lifestyle, personal freedom, safety, weather, and long-term financial peace of mind. People don't want to gamble on what might happen. They want a plan B, and in many cases, that plan is already being executed. All right, let's talk about why this move south isn't just a knee-jerk reaction from some billionaires. For high-income earners, business owners, and anyone with some serious assets, Florida isn't just a lifestyle upgrade, it's a strategic move. Let's start with the obvious one. In Florida, you keep more of what you earn. In New York, you could be paying up to 10.9% to the state, plus almost 4% more if you live in the city. That's a massive chunk of change. Move to Florida and you could be saving hundreds of thousands, if not millions, every single year. This is a big one. In Florida, when it's time to pass wealth to your kids or grandkids, the state takes zero. In New York, that can mean up to 16% of your estate gone in taxes. And for high net worth families, that really adds up fast. Florida has some of the strongest homestead protection laws in the country. Your primary residence, it's shielded from most creditors. It's also a great place to set up LLCs and trusts with more flexibility than you'd get in high regulation states. Florida's average property tax rate is under 1% compared to 1.7% or more in New York. And with the homestead exemption, you also get a cap on annual increases for your primary home. It's predictable, long-term savings. No franchise taxes, no capital stock tax, and a flat 5.5% corporate tax rate. That's why you're seeing so many firms, hedge funds, family offices, even tech companies relocate down here. Spend just 183 days a year in Florida and you can claim tax residency. That means you can still keep a home in New York or California, but dramatically reduce your tax liability. Private schools, concierge healthcare, gated communities, yacht clubs, country clubs, and direct access to private aviation. It's all here. You get privacy, security, and luxury without the grind, the cold, or the daily drama of big city life. Bottom line, if you're someone who's built real wealth, Florida isn't just a nice place to vacation, it's a smart place to live. And if you're not in that category, this still matters because the same financial principles apply whether you're earning $100,000 or $10 million. Keep more, stress less, live better. That's the reason so many people are heading down south, and it's only accelerating. If you're watching this and you're one of those high net worth individuals, business owners, or families thinking, should I seriously start exploring Florida? The answer is you're not alone, and yes, it might be time. Between the tax advantages, the pro-business environment, and the elevated lifestyle here, from private clubs and world-class boating to gated communities and top schools, Florida checks off every box for people who want more freedom, privacy, and peace of mind. And whether you're thinking of Palm Beach, Boca Raton, Naples, Orlando, Tampa, or Miami, or anywhere in Florida, we've got trusted partners across the entire state that are ready to help you make the move seamless. If you're ready to explore properties or you just want to have a smart conversation about what your options look like, go ahead and reach out. My team and I specialize in helping people like you make this transition smooth, strategic, and tailored to your lifestyle. I'm Jonathan Alexander with Live South Florida. Thanks so much for watching. And if this video gave you something to think about, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Make sure to go ahead and watch this video if you want to learn more about South Florida. I'll see you in the next video.